swear to God, there's sometimes I'm writing a song where I'm like, where the did this come from? Like, how did I find these words that rhyme so perfectly, and how did it just come off of my brain? Like when I wrote Austin, I literally freestyled "Did your boots stop working? Did your truck break down?" and the melody that went with it.
You're going to teach me the line dance to it right after this.
Oh God, I'm gonna take my heels off for that because I will break an ankle. They're so cute.
They're very. I think.
Tell me my shoes are cute.
Your shoes are so cute.
Thank you.
Did that seem genuine?
No.
Okay.
Men, Jesus.
We're the worst.
I'm not at this party, I'm back in your backseat. You're pulling it over, it's just had to have me.
I've actually never wanted to start an interview hoping it was kind of out of focus because you can tell that our eyes
I think it matches our eyes right now.
Are a little watery.
For context, we just shotgunned a beer. Why?
Well, I shotgunned a beer. You sipped one for a good 30 minutes.
Let's chill out.
Yes.
I tried my best.
She attempted, but it was your idea.
Dude, okay, but it was really cold. And you know what I mean? It's so carbonated that it like gets you.
That's
I
not
said
what
spicy.
She goes, it's so spicy. It's like, what?
But you know what I mean.
Yes,
whatever.
I got
I'm
it.
like literally drunk right now. I'm kidding, I'm not, but like a little bit. Maybe.
A little bit.
Way too drunk.
So many things that are a first for me just happened in like the last 5 minutes. I gotta pull it together.
I gotta go.
Oh man.
Okay.
Dasha, welcome to the Spout Podcast.
This is a serious interview.
This is a very serious interview. What's your social security number? I can't even say the word social.
Social security number.
Yeah. I've never. I you know, it's not unusual. I can't talk either. It's not unusual to hear a song that's not released yet right before the interview. So thank you for that.
Yes.
Not at this party, but I've never seen the dance that's not released yet either.
Yes, you saw everything unreleased today.
I saw everything, and we'll make sure we don't release the shotgun attempt because that was.
We'll
edit that.
Yeah, it was not my best attempt at that.
It's okay. It's okay. You got a lot going on that's worth celebrating.
Yeah.
That over, scores.
And it's okay. If I was good at everything, it'd be annoying. Yeah. So it's good that I'm really bad at shotgunning beers.
Not at this party. Now, prior to what, if you're hearing this and you're seeing this, it's already out. But when we recorded this about a week away from it.
Yeah, next week.
Yeah, and I had heard before that was the really amazing stripped back version that you played at the Opry.
Yeah.
I'm not at this party, I'm begging your backseat. You're pulling it over, just let it have me.
I kind of stumbled into the acoustic version. The whole team's obviously been trying to get me to play it because I had the Opry next stage thing, and then a couple other things where I had to play acoustic songs.
Time out. Next stage thing. You're part of the class of
Class
2025 for the Opry, which is just like
I know.
Legendary.
I'm so honored. Yeah. It's crazy. I was saying this in an interview the other day. They're like, "What does it mean to you?" And I was like, "I mean, it means that like I get so much hate from being who I am and making the music I make and being in country that the Opry kind of naming me as one of the next stage artists of 2025, the 100th year of the Opry, can just be like, well, you guys, like, respectfully,
Seriously, no, I mean, and I know what it is to work in an industry too, where you have a little bit of a chip on your shoulder, not for any other reason than just people don't get your vision of it.
That's okay,
and that's okay. But you not only obviously took this massive smash of Austin, and something that started with this dancing trend and whatnot.
Did your boots stop working? Did your truck break down? Did you burn through money? Did your ex find out?
It's funny, you were on the Spout Podcast with a colleague of mine, Tamara Dia, almost a year ago to the day.
Yeah.
I think it was like April of last year. And you said, I haven't seen more than 30 people do the line dance to Austin yet. Mm-hmm. I'm assuming you have now.
Yeah, that was about 2 months into it. Yeah, I've seen a lot more than that.
And
yep.
But what was funny is when you were describing it and you're caught in all this whirlwind, it's so cool to be able to catch up with you a year in the review, basically, because you said you had just played Kimmel, and that was your Mama I Made It moment.
Yeah.
And obviously success is an ever-changing goalpost a little bit. So what's that new definition of success for you now?
I mean, after winning the People's Choice Country Award, that was like the moment. And Shania Twain giving me the award too, given her history and background in country, it's just like...
These are all mic drops,
so
by the way.
insane.
These are expensive mics, so please don't drop it. But yes, but
please don't do it.
Yeah, that's insanely cool.
That was like the goal for mine, and the fact that I won that award, Female Song of 2024, like that. Still, I'm like, what even the hell was that day? That was just, I'm so honored. But I feel like the next goalpost for me is putting out this album, and putting out an album that I feel so deeply connected to, that's so authentic to me, because it's so hard to make an album that feels like that and also appeals to your audience and also visually looks like you and the music videos look like you and it feels like you. For everything to click is so goddamn hard because there's so many moving pieces.
Storm is what you need.
Exactly.
And
so for me, that's the next like big thing.
I think that you're getting very close to it. I'm excited to see what happens.
Excited.
But with that said, I like that you brought up the visuals of an album, because so many people don't acknowledge that that's a very important, integral part of an album release, especially in 2025.
Totally. Everything is social.
Even just releasing an album is crazy. Most people just put out singles every 6 weeks or 8 weeks or whatever it may be. So to put out a piece of cohesive work, but also have visuals that match it. When you're songwriting, do you have the visuals in your head, or are the lyrics coming first, or is it a mishmash? Walk me through the process.
It kind of depends, for sure. I'm such a visual person, though. Like, I mean, I live on YouTube watching music videos. Like, that's just like my happy place. But yeah, when I'm putting together an album, it definitely the music comes first, always.
Sure.
It's always about the story for me. And it's always about my life too. So it's like, well, what story do I want to tell today?
Yeah.
And then for the visuals, it's an interesting, like for music videos, thinking of the concept, it's an interesting balance of like, how much do I want to trust the directors of like, what's your vision? What story do you hear when you hear my story, you know? Because it doesn't always have to follow exactly the lyrics.
That's an interesting approach.
But also, like the Austin video is exactly what the lyrics say.
Sure.
And when I was writing Austin, I saw the music video in my head. So when I hit up Hunter Moreno to do the video, I was like, it needs to be exactly like the song, because that's all it could ever be.
Well, and
you know?
Austin specifically, you know, we've heard the story. Obviously, it's about a real person, but so many details of it were fabricated or switched a little bit around. So I think by that point, you were disassociated from enough that it's like, okay, this vision is clear.
Yeah.
But when you're writing something that's one-to-one, I mean, let's take it back to when you're 13, writing your first song for your dad. Like, that's as intimate as it can get as a songwriter.
Yeah.
So now, do you ever have this moment? Because I also watch a lot of YouTube videos, and especially music videos and whatnot, and I love the creation and direction behind them. Do you ever see like yourself in the third person?
All the time.
Yeah.
I think as an artist, you kind of have to at times, because as much as I am a person and a normal human, I also am a walking product.
Yeah.
And I also am the CEO of my company.
And wildly self-aware, by the way. Yes.
Thank you. No, it's like literally the only career where you can be the product and also the CEO at the same time. And it's like a really strange balance.
I'd love that explanation of it. And it's I think when you explain to someone that, you know, everyone has their different things. Some people have synesthesia where they see colors, or you know, whatever sounds as colors. When I've described to people, because it happens to me all the time, that I see, like, when I'm talking with my friend walking down the street in the third person, it can almost come off egotistical, and it's not it at all.
No,
I'm not. It's main character energy, but that's not. It's not like, look at me.
You should, though.
Yeah. Well, I'm the CEO of my own company too.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah. Business stories right here. But yeah, it's those moments where you're kind of like, this. I wish there was a camera at all times, and then like it can rewrite when I don't want footage out there.
Yeah, and I also I totally relate to that, because sometimes I'm like, God, I need like a reality TV show. Like, there needs to be a camera all the time. But no, when I'm thinking of like even like manifesting stuff, I have the type of brain where I see myself in the third person. Like, I'm just kind of like a ghost floating, and I see it all.
Like, what does this look like?
Exactly. So like I've manifested, and I've imagined the first time I win a Grammy Award so many times in my head, you know, and I'm standing on that stage and I see it so clearly in my head. I see the dress I'm wearing, and it's just like, I don't know if that's going to be the dress I'm wearing, but the fact that I can be so just direct with what I'm seeing, it almost like tricks your brain into getting there.
Does that ever lead you to physical manifestation? So let's say, not if, when the Grammy win happens, right? And you've had this dress in your head, then do you go look for a dress that looks like that? Yeah. That's so cool.
Yeah, but I think I've run into this situation so many times where I've seen it, and then it just happens to manifest how I saw it in my head without me even trying. Like, the subconscious, especially as a songwriter, is like your most powerful tool. So like anything you do, the people you're around, the things you think, it's all leads up to like what is going to happen, and you don't even think about it. It just happens. And so for me, it's like my surroundings, my environment has everything to do with my success and who I am as a person.
Do you experience deja vu a lot?
Yes. Okay. And I also have insanely vivid dreams.
Same. Okay.
Insanely vivid. Yeah.
I was talking to my producer about this, my co-host, that I've been having a lot of dreams lately where I'm doing very normal tasks.
Oh.
Like, okay, you don't have to respond that way. Whoa.
Oh.
But like, have you ever had like a dream where like it's almost nothing noteworthy, but it's, you go through your day, but then when you're living it again, you're like, oh, now I can do this different because I know how the other way.
Yes. I've totally
psychics?
have that. Are we like low key though?
Yeah.
I feel like people that are creative like us,
there's some other
outlet.
frequency or energy.
Even like songwriting, like I swear to God, there's sometimes I'm writing a song where I'm like, where the did this come from? Like,
Yeah.
how did I find these words that rhyme so perfectly, and how did it just come off of my brain? Like when I wrote Austin, I literally freestyled "Did your boots stop working? Did your truck break down?" and the melody that
Just
went with
a small line of the song, by the way.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, where did that come from? Could
Somewhere.
not tell you.
Some subconscious.
Exactly.
We only use
It's
a
like,
certain
whoa.
percentage of the brain, so obviously we're tapped in.
It's like, I just don't understand it. I swear to God, songwriting's like the eighth wonder of the world. It makes no goddamn sense sometimes, and it's the coolest thing ever.
Though. So, okay, so then, because you have told the line between pop and country, and in this world where I think Beyonce said it best recently, that genre is just a cold word to keep people in their place. But, it is okay to experiment and do different styles. And you obviously have had pop albums and songs before, but you started in country and gone back and forth a little bit. Do you have a moment where you feel like these two battling, I'm not trying to cause a rift here, but these battling quote unquote categories of pop versus country just don't exist to you anymore?
No, I think they really do.
Okay.
I know what Beyonce is trying to say with how genre is, irrelevant or doesn't really matter. But the thing about the country genre and genres in general is there's just so much culture to be had.
Yeah.
And so country specifically for me is like, I'm so proud to say that I am first and foremost a country artist.
Yeah.
I am rooted here. This is where I live.
Yep.
These are the people I talk to
Here's
every day.
Nashville, by the way.
We're in Nashville. Yeah. That's how it's always going to be for me.
It's a mindset, it's a lifestyle.
Yeah,
it's not just
exactly. It's
out.
more than just a type of music. Like Beyonce, I don't know. The thing about my music is I come from a background where I'm from California, and I've been around pop music, and I've written a lot of pop music. And so the taste of my music, how I write music is, it's a lot about the story. It's a lot about songwriting. It's kind of telling that story, but then it's also, I love a big pop hook.
Yeah.
I love something that's so singable and recognizable. And so my music just kind of naturally fits between the two, because that's what pop music is and that's what country is.
Sure.
But for me, genre matters less, I think, outside of this world, but in the country world,
it matters.
It's about the culture and it's about the history.
When you're working with songwriters, as a songwriter yourself too, do you like to work with people that are exclusively in the country world, or do you like to work with people
not
that
exclusively,
are also...
but I write 85% of my album out here in Nashville with people who write in country exclusively. Yeah. And then I'll go to LA and have a few sessions, and like my brother Bardo, he's a pop producer, but he produces some of my songs, and I love working with him.
Sure.
Yeah. So both can be true.
Two things can be true.
Two things can be true.
Deep breath, big smile. It's been a while since I've been in a crowd like this.
Well, one thing can be very true is that Not at This Party is out now by the time you're seeing
and hearing this.
I know. It is incredible. You're going to teach me the line dance to it right after this.
Oh, God.
I heard that there was a shot involved, too. Not my words.
When we do the spin, it's the shot, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to take my heels off for that, because I will break an ankle.
I mean, those
We're
are
in
stilettos.
Are those cute, though?
They're
You
great.
hate them. You hate
no,
them.
I don't hate them. I just don't
Look,
have
they're so cute.
They're very, I think.
Tell me my shoes are cute.
Your shoes are so cute.
Thank you.
Did that seem genuine?
No.
Okay. But
I'll
I
try
meant
again
it.
later. You're a liar.
I love your boots. I do. All right, Dasha.
Men. Jesus.
We're the worst.
I'm not at this party. I'm back in your backseat. You're calling it over. It's just such a happy. Hang on. Music. It's so in love with me right.
It's not 1, 2, 3, 4.
Tamra, hello.
Hello, how are you?
I miss you, my friend. We haven't talked in a minute. I'm good. This is exciting because I think this is the first time in a while we've both interviewed the same person at different times for Spout specifically.
Yeah, I think so too. How was your?
Oh, so you don't know yet. This is great. So I was in Nashville for it.
Oh, great.
Yeah, it was. She came into the hotel room and she said, "Let's shotgun a beer." First words out of her mouth to me and my crew, and I was like, all right, I'm in Nashville. I think it's barely afternoon, so it's not, horrible. How are you going to do this? And like, she went and grabbed beers in the hotel suite we were in, and we shotgunned beer. I shotgunned a beer. She attempted to shotgun a beer.
Okay.
But we did this. This is her mom's with her. We start the interview. This part's not part of the Spout. I think it got cut.
No.
But it's perfectly fine putting it out there. No, there's video of it. I hope
okay.
our producers edited it in. But the part I'm saying is right when we started recording, she to camera goes, "I'm drunk," like to her mom off screen. I was like, this is amazing. She was incredible, as you know. Just such a cool story, man. She's been in music for so long, and a lot of people think that it's just this overnight success because she had Austin that came out last year, and that's so not the case. But what was really, really cool is, Tamara, when you talked to her last year was right when Austin was taking off.
Yeah.
And she told you a very specific quote on the podcast, which was, "I haven't seen more than like 30 people at one time doing the dance to Austin yet, and I can't wait for that to happen." So obviously things have changed.
Right. Yeah. So two things. One, I think it's so badass that she walked into the interview was like, let's shotgun a beer. Two, even more badass that she actually seems like she doesn't really shotgun beers, because if she didn't finish it or finish the shotgun, she was just like in the moment, she was like, screw it, let's go. A true Nashville welcome if I've ever seen one. She's wonderful. I love seeing her rise. I think it's really cool to kind of, when we catch an artist, like as they start their ascent, and then we kind of revisit them a year later and see where they're at. So yeah, like what else did you learn about her during this updated interview?
Oh, I learned all of the things. She has her new song out now, which is incredible. We got to hear it right before she had officially released it, which was amazing. We learned the line dance to it. That took we did. I'm asking my producer, did we do that before or after we took the shot? Oh, thank you. Okay, no, because there was a shot of alcohol, of tequila involved as well after the interview. Oh. I think we did the shot, and then she taught us the line dance to the song.
How are your line dancing skills?
Oh, I'm great. You've seen me dance. I can dance.
You can't.
Don't chastise me like that.
No.
Yeah. No.
You're actually a great
It was me. Thank you. Say it louder for the people in the back. But no, Jordan and I, my co-host on my other show, and my producer, we were all learning to dance and do this in a suite in Nashville in the middle of the day on like a Friday.
Yeah.
It was awesome. She was great. But anyway, so excited that we got to keep up with her, catch up with her, and hopefully we get to talk to her again in another year or so when bigger and better things have occurred. Now, with that said, moving on to some music news. There's a lot to go over from this past weekend. Benson Boone, namely the cover of Rolling Stone magazine, where the headline follows the idea of one of his quotes, which is that he is not the sex icon of the century. I'll defer to you, Tamara.
I agree. He is not. I think Benson Boone has had a really fun rise as well. He's had, interesting career start. He kind of attempted to start on American Idol. He ejected himself from the competition, which, especially after Katy Perry, one of the judges, was like, if you want to, you can take this and go all the way. So to have one of the judges kind of validate you being there and you still deciding to leave the contest, I think is a testament to his own personal belief in himself as an independent artist. And he's really, really, he was just on the Grammy stage performing and, adjusting himself. So, he's doing amazing things. I do not think he's the sex icon of the decade. Not when Harry Styles is right there. So
he said century, to be clear. He said century, not even decade.
Okay. Century.
Yeah. It's like, easy, man. You're not even a quarter of a century old.
Yeah. Not even
take a breath.
Not even decade, really. But I appreciate that he believes so wholeheartedly in himself. So more power to him. I like his music. It's fun to see these types of artists. And we had him on Spout Podcast too. Did you interview him?
Yeah, I've interviewed him twice for Spout, actually. Speaking of having repeat guests on, he's such a great kid. I talked to him when he first came out, and then obviously after his meteoric rise last year and whatnot. I think he was commenting on a little bit because he's known for, he's a former gymnast, so he has an incredible physique. He does flips on stage. He does, that would even be putting it mildly. He's not even doing backflips how some rock stars do. He's doing front flips off pianos. That is not easy to do. Back handsprings and whatnot. And he said, quote, after doing a lot of shows, you start to pick up what people like and don't like, what girls like and don't like. There's an art to making anybody go crazy. So I think he's actually taking this a little more from the, I don't want to be sexualized either. I'm not just there to take my shirt off. I'm not just there for my body. I hopefully am amassing a fan base that appreciates my singing and my showmanship. And I think, I don't want to say he's regretting, but it's kind of coming across a little bit like, okay, maybe I wish I didn't lean so heavy on the gimmick that is take my shirt off, scream, and then rinse and repeat, you know,
Right.
because he is such a talented musician.
Oh, I agree. He's a fantastic vocalist, and I agree with all of that. You know, I do think that when you are trying to make a name for yourself, you do what you can to stand out from the rest. And if you have abs, show them off. I'm not going to say that you shouldn't do that. Go for it. But I also understand when you want
What if you don't have abs? What about the rest of us, Tamra?
you show off your dancing skills, Eric. That's what you do. So
Wow. Okay. All right, that's fair. Beyonce's mom, speaking of dancing skills, said that Beyonce's movie days are over. She will not be in any more films. I don't know that this was a question people were actively asking. I feel like she hasn't been in anything, correct me if I'm wrong, in over a decade.
Over a decade.
Outside of obviously her concert films and whatnot.
Right.
But I didn't know that people believed she was still going to be in a film, which I guess makes me wonder, is Tina Knowles just saying this because she is going to be in a film now and they're trying to throw the scent and it's a little too blunt?
That's an interesting take. I just gathered it as someone kind of offhandedly asked her a question about it. I didn't.
No one asked her this, by the way. She just threw it out there. Beyonce's mom just be saying stuff sometimes.
Interesting. Okay, Tina, out here just starting to like stirring up some dirt. I don't think anyone was questioning whether or not Beyonce was going to go back to film. She's almost too big for films. Do you know what I mean? Like, she's such a huge persona that it would be hard to look at her in a role and not think, oh, this is Beyonce. Even you know, a decade ago when she was doing films, it was still hard to look at her and not think that, oh, this is Beyonce. And that's just a testament to her her being such a superstar as a musician. It's hard to kind of suspend that disbelief, but she's so talented.
Right.
If she wanted to, she could. It's obviously her choice, you know?
Yeah, I think it comes down to the idea that, you know, she's become this global star, not from acting either, you know, so it would be really weird. It's like when Ed Sheeran was in that one Game of Thrones episode and we're like, what? Why is this? There's nothing to do with him being a good or bad actor, but it's just like, you can't, that's never not going to be Beyonce when you see her in a role.
Exactly.
I have to say a quick retraction. I forgot she voiced Nala in the Lion King remake and the Mufasa film that just came out.
Yeah.
But I don't know that really. To me, that's voice acting. That's not.
It's not her face on screen. Yeah, exactly.
Rebecca Black is joining Katy Perry on the Lifetime's tour. The former Friday singer. I'm saying that in jest. She's had many hits since then, and she's proven herself as a musician and artist. But she's going to be opening up for Katy Perry. That's pretty huge.
Huge, yeah. I mean, talk about a comeback. I mean, I'm going to reserve my opinion here, to be honest, because Katy Perry's comeback was not what she had anticipated it would be.
Comeback is maybe not the right term. I would say return to public visibility.
She's been publicly visible on American Idol for years.
Yeah. Fair. I guess, I don't know. I think we're saying the same thing. And I like Katy Perry. I love Teenage Dream. I think that record is perfect start to finish. I
agree.
think when you have a perfect record and then you try to separate yourself from that, it's totally understandable. But if you want to, 10 years later, be like, okay, I want to give the fans what they really want, lean back into it. I think Gaga's a perfect example, right? Mayhem is a critically acclaimed album already. It's been out for just over a week. And no, it's not a repeat of things that she's done before, but it is a classic Gaga sound. It's what the fans of Lady Gaga want, and she also modernized it with that. I think Katy, missed it a little bit when she's just constantly trying to do something new. But Rebecca Black opening up for her is huge.
Yeah.
I would love to see the level of breakdown of how many people attend the show, because Rebecca Black has quite the following now.
Does she?
How many people are now going to go to the tour? Yeah, she does. She has a whole culture of fans.
Good for her.
I would love to see the breakdown. Who's going for Rebecca and who's going from Katy. I could sense from your tone that Tara's less than interested in this situation.
I will say this about Lady Gaga, who I love and adore. Obviously there's the term online about her reheating her own nachos. And I think that Katy Perry should have reheated her own nachos, because Katy Perry is an amazing pop star. And I do think that she just kind of went the wrong direction with this recent album. Sure. But I don't think it's not too late, because she's so supremely talented. So she can always just, throw her nachos in the microwave, reheat them real quick, come back out with a new album, and we'll forget.
What a visual. What a visual. You mentioned American Idol with Katy, obviously being one of the more notable judges in the last couple of years. American Idol, what is it, season 20 something?
24,
I think it's
something like
23, 24.
Yeah,
Something like that. That just premiered. It's 23, thank you. That Backstreet Boys' Brian Luttrell's son auditioned for. He was one of the more notable auditionees, contestants, I guess is the proper term. Bailey Luttrell performed his own song. And then after basically getting the green light from the judges who said, okay, you're obviously a Backstreet Boy Junior. Is your dad here? And then they bring him out and they made this whole package with Seacrest, like, oh my God, can you believe they didn't know this was going to happen? And I don't know. I don't want to take anything away from Bailey because I think his voice is actually really, really good. It's really unique and it's not what I was expecting. It reignites the ever-present conversation of Nepo babies. Clearly, this kid has everything at disposal to just go put a record out there. Does he really need to do American Idol? And if American Idol is still about discovering the unknown talent in, whatever town, USA, why are we letting children of celebrities audition for it?
Yeah, I mean, this is the eternal argument, right? Like, do Nepo babies deserve their spots, or are they just there because of their parents? I was actually having this conversation the other day. Like, there's a lot of Nepo babies that I actually think are great. And I'm so happy, like I think of actors like Kate Hudson or recently I've been really into like Jack Quaid. I think he's a great actor too. So there's some people that had this conversation and they acknowledge that they are in the positions that they are, or they've been afforded the opportunities that they've been afforded because of their parents. However, them actually securing the roles is a different thing, like him, actually going through and getting a green light to Hollywood. I think they wouldn't have given it to him if they didn't actually see some sort of talent there. So I think there does have to be a baseline of talent, but they're obviously standing on that stage because of the opportunities that they've been afforded where other people don't have those same connections.
Yeah. And you know what? 90% of me agrees that, this kid deserves the opportunity and why should he not be able to go on a show and prove his worth? I guess what kind of irks me is that they brought Brian out and then Brian sang a verse with him as part of the audition. Yeah. That's just kind of like, okay, do you need American Idol or does American Idol need you? What's going on here? Because clearly this is a little bit of a gimmicky package. Well, we'll see. Good luck to Bailey.
I think that's also Brian wanting a little bit of spotlight. No offense. Like,
you can only do so many reunion tours, Brian. There's only so many left.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he's probably missing that national spotlight too. So yeah, I agree. I mean, we'll see if he makes it, to the end. That's based on his talent. So we'll see how much that Backstreet Boys, DNA gets passed down.
We'll see. All right. Well, end on this. You brought this story to me. I actually didn't know this was breaking. Jessica Simpson returning to the stage for the first time in years, performing at South by Southwest in Austin, Texas. Yes. Several songs, including Boots Are Made for Walking. Yes. Which I'm so mad I didn't have a chance to go watch this and see it before we talked about it, but I'll let you take it.
Yes, she also covered Son of a Preacher Man, and she debuted 4 new songs at this performance at South by Southwest. This is her first performance in 15 years. So this is quite a return to form. I ride for Jessica Simpson. She's had a lot of ups and downs in her career as well. So I'm always kind of a rooter for the underdog. I grew up, I came of age during that early pop girly era with her and Britney and Christina and Mandy Moore. And so I love all of them. They're inherently in my musical soul. So I'm excited to see this return for her. She's, obviously been off becoming a billionaire through her fashion line, which is very impressive, not to be fair. But yeah, I think this is great. I'm excited to hear her music. I think this will be fun for her, and I'm rooting for Jessica Simpson.
Yeah, same. Obviously, not to discredit her beauty line and everything that she's been doing behind the scenes, but I think out of all those pop girlies, as you phrased it, she's been probably the least in the public eye. Mandy Moore obviously switched to acting, but has still been very, very present. Christina's been around. Britney's been around. Sure. So for Jessica, to announce, I think it was like 2 months ago, she announced that she was back in the studio and putting something out, and then announcing the studio album, and now officially getting back on stage. It's exciting. It's exciting for us too, as millennials, to be like, oh my God, they're back? This is all back? Yeah. Because it's really... At the end of the day, Tamara, it comes down to one thing, right? Is it going to pressure NSYNC to come back together and do a reunion tour? That's all I really need. That's all I really care about.
Honestly, I'm right there with you, Erik. I can't wait. I'm ready for this reunion tour.
Tamara and I went to the JT concert together last year,
we
so
did,
I think if NSYNC does the reunion, we gotta attend the NSYNC show together.
Well, actually, the reason why I say you're a good dancer is because I've seen you do is it the Bye 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 choreography?
No.
Which
we don't need to talk about this. Is not important. It's pop. It's fine. It's pop. It's gonna be me. There's
pop.
a few, but it's
no,
it's not important.
I think it should be noted that Erik
Sorry.
does know this choreography front to back. So just saying.
I actively still know it. Yes, that's
No,
my
I
party
love
trick.
that.
If you get enough shots in me at a bar, that I'll still pull that out.
Shots of Malort.
Thank you for. Oh God, that a Chicago reference right there. All right, Tamara, it's always a pleasure.
Good to see
Appreciate you, even despite the fact that you bring out those facts at the end of the podcast.
These are fun facts.
Spout Podcast. As always, what was your favorite part of the episode? Who do you want us to talk to next? Comment below. Let us know. Leave a review. It really, really helps the podcast and helps us get bigger and better guests and talk to everyone too. And if you just want to compliment, my dance skills or Tamara's everything, because I just have the dance skills to rely on. That's it. Again, we just appreciate hearing from you. So thanks again, Tamara. My name is Erik Zachary. This is the Spout Podcast. That's an episode. We'll see you next week. Bye.